Hello and welcome to the first ever and pilot episode of the Recon cast. First and foremost, this intro is going to be a long one, as there's lots of housekeeping to do, so buckle up. The plan is for the Recon cast to become a weekly podcast based on all sorts of things, be it games, TV, films, popular culture, zombies, basically whatever we think would be fun to talk about. However, as this is predominantly a gaming channel, there will always be an uneven slant towards video games. So, who is joining me on this little escapade? Well, I managed to rope in my two sisters V and Lou, who both play games on a regular basis and would also probably class themselves as core gamers, although you should probably ask them how they would identify themselves. V or Vanessa will be a regular feature in most if not all episodes, whereas we hope Lou to be available for the majority of the times we record, but we'll have to see how it all pans out. For the time being, there will be different game footage in the background each week, as well as Metal Gear Codec inspired pics of our ugly mugs on screen. So, how is all this going to work? Well, we're going to record the podcast all in one go, usually on a Thursday. And within the podcast, we're going to have 4 topics, which I'm going to post individually throughout the week on YouTube. Topic 1 will probably be on a Friday, and will be based on a recap of some of the week's gaming news so far. That is, whatever news takes my fancy, and or any other points of interest in popular culture, or cool stuff we find interesting, that we can fit into a single segment. Then we will skip the weekend and post the other topics that aren't time sensitive on Monday through Wednesday. And finally, a compilation of the podcast uncut on the Thursday, so as there's vids every day of the working week. Topic 2 will be my topic, topic 3 will be V or Lou's, and we hope topic 3 will become your topic. So hit me up with your topic ideas in the comments or on Twitter, which admittedly I'm pretty rubbish on and have no real idea on how to use, but anyway, send me some tweets and I'll try and get better and learn. No promises, but I'm going to try. And as well as getting name checked, your topic could feature on this podcast as topic 4. However, if there are no viewer topics in the bank or that I want to use that week, I'll just make one up. If the way in which this content is divided up and posted on YouTube seems familiar to you, that's because the whole idea to do a podcast was inspired by the channel Kinda Funny. So shout out to them. Not that they need it from me, mind. But anywho, in my humble opinion, their shows are the epitome of how to do a podcast on YouTube. So you can either thank them or hate on them for being the inspiration for this here little podcast, depending on whether you like it or not. Aside from the inspiration discussed, the motivation to try this is as I want to switch up the sort of stuff I'm doing here on my channel. And for a while now, I have wanted to focus on doing more long-form content with higher production values, like fan film-esque projects or multimedia stories, mostly based on video games. I don't want to go into that stuff too much, as I feel like I keep promising to make vids like this and never get round to it, but I am working on some stuff, so instead I'll talk about it when it's actually imminent. But to that point, this sort of stuff takes time, a lot of time. So I needed something that wouldn't take forever to make and that would give me regular content throughout the week that is hopefully interesting. And a topic-based podcast seems like a perfect fit for this. Don't worry, there'll still be Let's Plays and things like top 10 retro games or vids about COD zombie wonder weapons and so on, but that sort of stuff will be as and when I'm in between projects or it just seems right, like a new game launching or it's on my mind or in the zeitgeist and whatnot. Please keep in mind this is all a work in progress and I will be looking to improve these vids in the future, so if there are any audio or technical issues over the coming weeks, giving us a pass would be appreciated. To that end, if you have any constructive, I repeat constructive criticism of things you both do and do not like about the production of these videos, hit me up in the comments with your feedback. It could help to dial in what works and what doesn't for future episodes. Righto, finally got through it. Don't say I didn't warn you that it was going to be a long one. Anywho, I think that's everything covered, so without any further ado, let's actually get into it and do it to it. Okay, so into topic 1. Topic 1 is going to be a gaming news recap of the week of things that we find interesting. So it's going to be sort of like quick fire. So we're just going to go through a few things. So Nintendo's first smartphone game is being released in the US. And I thought we'd also talk about Pokemon Go, augmented reality. The Japanese beta is being released soon. So, yeah. So does anybody have any thoughts about that or whatever? Like, does anybody care that,
I think
there's going to be a
cool.
Nintendo smartphone game?
I have a question. Is Pokemon Go the one where you are looking at the real world and Pokemon appear?
Yeah, that's it. It's that augmented reality one where, like, you're, I don't know, walking the dog in a field and then suddenly Bulbasaur pops up and...
I think that'd be awesome.
I think it's great. There's a hitch, if what I've heard is true, in that to get the legendaries, you have to go to interesting places, big cities.
Really?
Is that correct? From what I've heard, they've made it so that every major city has a legendary living in it, or places of interest.
Yeah, I was wondering how all that would work as well, because, like, how is it going to know that a Bulbasaur should be in a field and not like a
GPS.
sand shrew?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
But how does it know somewhere's a field unless they've, like, looked on Google Earth or something?
Can you not remember what they did with was it Google Maps? Can you not remember what they did with that?
What's that?
Like it was a couple of years ago now that you used to be able to walk around and stuff. Like I was walking at my street, like going to the shop stuff, and I could search for the
that game's made by the same people. I think it might be DNA or something. I can't remember, but it's made by the same developers. It's the people who are making Pokemon Go made that game that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think it's called like Geo something or whatever.
So I'm gonna guess it's just gonna be the same principle as that, really.
But
I wonder how long it's going to be until someone gets run over, though, like fucking trying to get a legendary Mew or something.
It makes me wonder about the Pokemon mentality as well, because this sounds like a game for the uber rich. Because the Pokemon motto is "Gotta catch 'em all," and you play the game. That's what you strive for. Can you afford to travel all over the world, filling your Pokédex?
You can't imagine it'd be like that. Like Mew's only in like America or
that's what
Dubai
I heard.
or something.
I don't know too much about it, but I think that's what they suggested in the beginning.
Well, that would be crazy. I mean, we're gonna find out soon enough because the beta is gonna be released in Japan, so the news will be getting launched, or it's rumored to be being released in Japan. It probably will be, but like, are you gonna? I think it's I'm not sure about this, but I think it's gonna be free to play or whatever. So, as someone who plays the Pokemon games, I don't really play them. The last one I probably played was that GameCube one, the 3D GameCube one. But you play Pokemon regularly, so are you going to download it and have a go with it?
Not particularly. I don't know.
No.
I'm sure people will love it. Some people will love it, but there's no story base to go behind it. So I wonder how long the lifespan is. And if you really do have to travel a long ways, it's soon going to get old for some people.
I've got a feeling it won't be that. I think it'll be like you were saying, like the legendaries, you'll have to go to like a special Pokemon event. Like how they have like Magic the Gathering events or something. I think it'll be like that where, you'll have to go to this special event, you'll run your phone through a fucking IR code or something and then get Mewtwo or fucking
they used to do that
Arceus
where I used to work.
it's called.
You used to be able to like hack into link into the Wi-Fi, and you used to be able to get like a legend like a specific Pokemon, didn't you?
Yeah,
that's what I'm.
That's simple.
Maybe it'll be like that
if you go into your local high street to get it or what have you. I don't know. Only time
there will be some that are at special events, though. I think you're right about that. You'll have to go off to like the nearest big city and some special Pokemon event.
But yeah, I literally heard that each big city all over the world will have a legendary programmed into it.
That doesn't sound like a great idea.
You're going to be sending your phones on holiday with people?
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe you could just ship someone a SIM card. Maybe someone will be smart and run a little business and do you know what I mean? Because you think about it, let's say they take 10,000 SIM cards, everybody pays them a bit of money, they get free holidays. They just jet around the world,
a good
picking up
point.
all these fucking Pokemon.
I actually discussed this with someone.
You
at
would
work,
actually be
this
a
very
Pokemon
thing.
trainer. I think we've just capitalised on
already.
something.
Let's do something.
I now hope that
Maybe
they
you
do
should
this
edit
because that's
that.
the life I want to live.
Maybe you should edit that because everybody's
Yeah.
gonna
Jump
latch
on
onto
that
our
idea.
grand scheme.
Exactly.
We
Oh,
could be
yeah, I didn't.
rich.
I'll cut that out so no one will know about it. Yeah. If only. You would actually be a genuine like Pokemon trainer traveling the world collecting them all. That would actually be pretty cool.
How long do you think the thrill will last when you're up to the 37th time that you've chased after Deoxys?
Yeah, that's true. But if you're getting paid out the wazoo for it, and you're getting like to live the fucking jet setting lifestyle, I don't think you care.
I suspect there's an
But yeah.
embarrassment factor too if you have to run around in public chasing
Yeah,
after
that
a
is a
Pokemon.
point. If you're a grown up and you have to fucking like waggle your fucking phone to because it's escaping from its ball or whatever, and you haven't got a master ball or whatever, yeah, you would feel like a right plonker, wouldn't you?
Possibly.
But yeah, I don't suppose anybody cares about the Nintendo game or whatever. It's like a Mii game, like the Mii from the Wii, and it's like a weird question-based game where you sort of ask each other like cool questions, and then everybody votes on it or something.
Sounds a bit
That
lame.
sounds riveting.
Yeah.
Sounds
Who
like they're
knows?
just
It might
trying
be
to,
a
like,
little.
grasp at
time
straws
waster.
now, like trying to make some bad attempts.
It's
at a
just that it's
comeback.
their first entry into the market. I think they're trying to go in with like a soft impact instead of just, going on full on into it. So
They haven't really got like they've kind of died out. Surely you'd want to spend time and make something epic instead of like some lame me game. Personally speaking,
Yeah.
anyway, like I
They
can't
have
really
the
think-
license for so many interesting characters. They could
yeah,
surely use something that's
they've
great.
got amazing
Mario
IP when you
or
think
Zelda
about
or God knows
Mhm.
what.
it. Metroid, whoever,
Yeah, something that
But-
they're famous for.
I think they'll get to that, but I don't think it'll be like a full on experience or whatever.
But the Mii's, they were really entertaining for about 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, they were fun for a second, but that's the Wii all over, isn't it? It was fun for a minute, and then it was like, collects dust ever since, doesn't it?
That's right.
pretty much.
But, yeah.
I can't
Anywho,
see
let's
him.
go on to the next one. Oculus launched this week, the Oculus Rift. So, what are people's thoughts on VR as a whole, and Oculus and whatnot? So, because there's 3 out there at the moment. There's the HTC Vive, that's not out. That's going to be out soon. There's the Oculus, which got launched this week, and then towards the end of the year, the PlayStation Move is also VR is also coming out. Previously, the Morpheus, whatever you want to call it. So, does anybody? What are people's thoughts on VR? Do you know what I mean?
I think it's the same as anything. Probably in a couple of years, it's really going to be worth being interested in. But launch titles tend to be a little lame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, the weird thing about this is it seems to have quite a strong launch, like compared to a normal console generation. Because you think about the PS4, the launch was rubbish, and to be fair, it's arguable whether there's a killer app now. Do you know what I mean? Let alone, like year 1 or year 2 or whatever. So,
Have you heard of any launch titles for them?
there's I've heard of
some kind of demo.
Yeah, it's it depends which one you go with. The Oculus has come out with like a Spyro-esque Conquer sort of game with this weird little squirrel thing or whatever, and Eve Valkyrie, which is like a space dogfighting game, which looks really cool, but I guarantee you would make me sick. So
I can see that being a big problem for the
and you'd imagine they're all going to come with some.
The visually impaired.
Yeah, that-
yes.
That is the problem. Like I don't know how much you guys like suffer from motion sickness, like as much as I do, but it like really affects me. Like first person shooters, like even like Call of Duty and stuff like that. Like even that can make me sick sometimes if the sensitivity is too high or whatever. So
I'm better if I'm physically like playing the game, so I can imagine that I think I'd be alright. I tend to have to like kind of train my eyes for it, like take breaks and like kind of wake myself like up and stuff. Watching someone else play Call of Duty, I'm a mess. Can't deal with it.
Yeah, it's even worse when you're watching someone.
It's
doing
terrible.
it.
It's terrible. Like,
so I like that dogfighting game for me just wouldn't work. That's my trepidation about VR is I think it looks really cool and I'd be interested in it. It's a bit pricey at the moment. I'd definitely wait till it drops. But am I just buying like a sick box? Because you know, I'm gonna like fucking watch all these games and play all this stuff. But after about 20 minutes, it's gonna make me sick. What, you know? Why am I gonna spend £350 on that? You know,
I can't help but be cautious whether it's just going to be like something that's going to be amazing when it first comes out and then just die off and just be one of them things that are forgotten and people aren't really
like
about. Yeah, pretty much another way.
PlayStation Move.
How far can they get with it? How can they keep bettering themselves with it? I mean, I know technology would be better, but
I think given time, it will be fantastic. I still don't know if it's for me.
I think the argument is, though, with those sort of things is they were gimmicks, and this is genuinely supposed to be like really good. Like, I don't know, I've not used it. I don't think either of you two have you? No. So like, people say that it's like really an amazing experience or whatever, and you have to try it to like believe in it. But even then, like for me, because I get sick, you know, maybe I'm part of like a small 5% minority or whatever. Maybe we all are, but I still don't know if I'd be willing to pony up the cash on something that I just don't know whether it's... Not only do I not know whether it's going to be good, but I don't know whether it's just going to make me sick all the time.
I wouldn't spend £350 on it. Nah. Or however much
I like a good horror game as well, and I can't see me playing that right next to my eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be stuck on the Squirrel Nutkin game.
Yeah. Could you imagine PT
I'd be
or
too
whatever?
Terrified.
In VR, you'd be shitting your pants. I'm not the best with, like, I'm not like Vanessa, where she proves herself with Until Dawn, but like...
That is a scary fucking game.
Yeah, probably, but...
You haven't played it yet, you can't even judge.
Yeah, not yet, but I've seen it. I'll play it soon. So.
Yeah, whatever.
That's cool.
We'll see. He's like crying like a baby at the end of it.
No, I'll be fine. I'll be golden. On the same topic, onto the next thing. PlayStation VR could be supported by PC, so that's an interesting move, like for PlayStation possibly. My thought on this is that they won't do it out of the gate, but if PlayStation's sort of failing for them or whatever, it's not hitting the numbers they want and it's doing like the PlayStation Vita or the PlayStation Move, you know, and sort of dwindling. If they then open it up to PC and let all their third parties be played on PC, suddenly, like, that gives a lot more, you know, possibilities. Yeah, because it takes all those PC guys who've got to pay $800, I think it is, for a Vive, or $600 for the Oculus, and that's without the handle touch thingies. Yeah, whereas they could pick it up for like $350 or whatever and put it on their PCs, which it would probably be less demanding because you know, if a PC can run it, I mean, if a PlayStation 4 can run it, your PC is probably going to be able to. So, you know, like you say, that's a whole new demographic that it could hit. So that could be a shrewd move on their part. So
it doesn't seem like the other companies will take kindly to that, being less than half the price.
Yeah, they probably won't. But the only one that really has any impact in gaming is the HTC one, because that's being backed by Steam. So I don't know if it's being paid for by Steam. I think it's just being developed by HTC. But so yeah, they might not take kindly to it, you know, seeing as they're the masters of PC gaming or whatever. So.
It'll come down to quality then, though, won't it?
Yeah, well, quality or price, you know. It's like we were saying, we wouldn't pay £350 for. I think it's $400 US for the PlayStation VR. Would you pay fucking $800 for the HTC Vive? Even if it's better, even if it's a lot better, would you pay that?
No.
No.
Standard.
Like, I mean, it'll drop over time, but it'll drop to what? Eventually $500? That's still, like, you know, what, £400 or whatever, you know?
It's all very exciting and everything, but I think with some things I like to take a back seat and let the other people play guinea pig for a while.
Yeah.
Let other people decide if it's fantastic or not, and then I'll
let the early
purchase.
adopters pay the crazy money. I never buy anything like year one. If I was rolling in the money, I probably would, but you know, I always wait at least a year personally. So, Right, on to next couple of things. One of them is like there's this amazing article on Kotaku. Well, it's not amazing, the article, but the pictures are amazing. Basically, in the Unreal Engine or whatever, they're using the same sort of technology they're using in the new Star Wars Battlefront game. And they've done these like amazing photorealistic pictures. When you look at them, it's like hard to like believe or whatever, but they actually look real. Like there's like this one where there's like leaves on the ground and there's like snow on it and stuff. It looks completely real. So maybe, you know, photorealistic games could be, you know, a thing sooner than people might think or whatever. So that's pretty cool. But then again, it's whether you've got the hardware to run it. So that's pretty cool. And then the next one is, sorry, carry on.
I'm sorry. I was saying there's a little bit of an element of that in a lot of the horror games at the moment, isn't there? The PT, for example, that came out, and the Allison Road. They're like super realistic looking. Makes it scarier. Yeah, they focus on, you know, the quality and the detail and all the, you know, things that are going on and stuff, like, you know, how there's like paraphernalia on like a desktop or something as opposed to it just being blank and stuff. The graphics are pretty good. The next one I thought was, you're not happy with what, PT?
I'm not happy with like games becoming more real. I can't handle them now, like they're scary. What is it going to be like?
Yeah, well, you don't have to play the scary ones, do you?
But they're fun.
It's true. It's about immersion, though. I think that's what everything's moving towards, is as realistic as it can possibly be. Whether people's hearts can take it is another matter.
Not necessarily realism. I think what you're saying is correct. Immersion. Yes. Like you take No Man's Sky or whatever. That doesn't look realistic, does it? But it's going to be like an immersive experience. Like how long that'll last, how great that'll be for how long, who knows? But it's going to be like immersive. I think that's, you know, right. That's what everybody's moving towards, this like immersion sort of thing. So you feel like you're in that world or whatever. So yeah. So the next one I thought was just like a funny little story. About how this 16-year-old hacker sneaks into Steam like through the back doors or whatever. He's like a white hat hacker, which means like, you know, they expose instabilities and stuff on purpose, so, you know, to help the companies to a degree or whatever. Yeah, but he snuck onto Steam, not through the green light process, but like through all these back doors or whatever, and he uploaded a paint drying game. That's like basically you watch paint drying for 45 minutes and that's it or whatever. I don't know if it was free or it was being charged for. He didn't make any profit off it. He didn't get any money off it. But I don't know whether that money sat in like escrow somewhere or whatever.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, I just thought.
Can you still get it? That sounds like my kind of game.
I think they pulled it down. But yeah, I think that's just a really good statement to Steam about, you know, get your fucking house in order, because it's a mess over there, particularly with Greenlight and stuff like that. Like the amount of shitty games that can be up there. They don't really focus on quality control, which can be a bit of an issue. So
I mean, like 16-year-olds can be like quite clever and shit these days, but for a kid to do that is mental.
I read up on it. It's like I think he's a bit of a kid genius, because at 14 he did like night classes so he could enroll at university at 16 or whatever. So I think he's a bit of a fucking boy genius, but yeah, nonetheless.
I'm impressed.
I thought it's a pretty cool story or whatever. And then lastly, Final Fantasy 15 or whatever, the release date is the 30th of September. This all got released, I think it's last night in a stream or whatever. Final Fantasy Uncovered or something, I think it was called. The new demo is out, which I played, which I thought was pretty cool. There's no pre-order required, so you can just download it as long as you're on console. I don't think it's coming to PC or Steam or whatever, the demo. So you can download it for free or whatever. You don't need to pre-order anything. There's going to be an anime, and there's going to be a CGI movie by the same guys that made Advent Children. And it's going to be based around the main character. I think he's called Noctis or something.
That's right.
And how his dad lost the kingdom. One of the mini games from Final Fantasy 15 will be available not only in game but on mobile as well, and it's going to be like some sort of pinball-esque weird fighty summon game thing. So I think that's pretty cool to a degree, because being able to play it in game, and if it remembers stuff, and then you can take that, you know, like you're saying, to work or whatever, play it in your lunch break, and then somehow transfer it back to your PlayStation 4. That would be pretty cool.
They've done things like that before on a very much smaller scale. The old one,
didn't they do something with Chocobos or something?
Chocobo World, and it was a little bit like the Pokemon game too, the Poke Walker.
Yeah.
But it's quite neat if you can. I mean, if you're obsessed with a brand new game, you want to take it to work with you where you bought out your skull and still feel like you're making progress.
Well,
it's a great thing.
Let's be real. You don't want to go to work. You want to play
Of
the
course.
fucking game, you know. But if you can play some of that game at work, you know, best of both worlds, isn't it? So,
Absolutely.
you know, you're not getting fired and you can play some of it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I played the demo. You're downloading it, aren't you, Lou? You've not
I have
played
it downloaded. I shall have a bash soon.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
I've played the other one, the free.
Yeah,
demo.
I didn't play that one. Yeah, so I don't know what was in that one, but I thought it was pretty cool. It's not very long. It's maybe like 45 minutes tops or whatever. Even if you take a minute to have a little look, see around or whatever, it's probably like pretty quick. But I thought it was pretty good. The impressions I got from it, which is what I thought I was going to get from it, is it's kind of a grown-up Kingdom Hearts, which is no bad thing. But not necessarily what I personally want from a Final Fantasy. I'm more old school. I would have loved the turn-based, but I'm okay with it because Kingdom Hearts is good. So I'm more hyped now that I played this demo than I was before. So I'll wait and see. I'll buy it, I reckon, and like definitely play through it and give it a go. So I thought it was pretty cool overall. But yeah, that's available for everybody to play or whatever. So
I'll be looking forward to the movie, most definitely. I loved Advent Children. Absolutely love that film.
I don't know how much you'll need to know that, you know, beforehand, like whether you can literally just pick it up from nowhere, because I think what they're doing is playing it like it's a prequel, so you can just pick it up. You don't need to know anything about the game or whatever.
Well, that'd be cool. It's going to appeal to more people that way, isn't it?
Well, it sounds
yeah,
like
it's going to have some famous actors in
complimentary.
it as well. It's going to have Sean Bean in it.
He gets everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was in one of the Silent Hills, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, he was. He was in the first one, wasn't he? He was the dad.
It's also got another woman from Game of Thrones in it. I don't watch Game of Thrones. I know people will probably lambast me for that, but yeah, I don't. It's the woman from that. She was also in that Terminator thing, I think. She was in 300. I think it's that woman. Do you know what I'm on about?
Daenerys, yeah.
Yeah, she's a voice in it as well, and it's also got. I always forget his name. I think it's some Pinkerman or whatever. The dude from. Now I can't even remember the show. What's the show about methamphetamine?
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's got the
Jesse
younger
Pinkman.
dude from. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know why I had a brain fart there, but he's going to be in it as well. I think he's the main character, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool news. That pretty much wraps up the weekly news thing. So we'll leave that there and we'll go on to the next topic.